Bearcat Bounce podcast. Back at it again. Monday. Memorial Day Monday. Happy Memorial Day Monday. Monday following Indy 500 Sunday. Woo! We went racing. Now we're going dancing. Monday following a Bearcat team heading to the NCAA tournament following a selection show and live showing the team, watching them being selected. Fun. We'll talk about that. And also one of our fearless companions was there covering it all, and he's going to be joining us tonight, so that makes it even specialer Monday. So without further ado, we've got a nice crew. Minus one regular, plus one hard worker. Keep it going. All-star player. So without further ado, Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, Keegan Nixon. Gentlemen, how are we?
Doing great. Been a very busy weekend. But just got back from my cousin's house. Little gathering for Memorial Day, and had some good food. Hung out with the fam for a little while, and got back home about 12 minutes ago. Popped into the BBP, ready to go.
There we go. Burgers and dogs at the little gathering.
No, smoked pork shoulder. Some chicken tenders for the kids. I made some au gratin potatoes.
Ooh, wow.
And some baked beans, a little macaroni salad, potato salad, au gratin. It was good.
Dang. It's living it up on a Monday. It's so weird. Every Memorial Day, it's like Monday, but it feels like Sunday. And then I always go to the Indy 500, so like a little loopy to begin with, and it's just always throws me way off. So happy Monday. Aaron, sir, how are we? How was the weekend? Long one, fun one?
Yeah, it was good. Got to go to some baseball. The 10-year-old had a baseball tournament. So we got to do that, and then I made we had plenty of dogs and burgers over the course of the last week or so. So we actually went off the beaten path and did shrimp tacos tonight with some cilantro, lime rice, and some Mexican corn, the Mexican street corn. So it was banger. Kids are like, "This is the best meal you've ever made." I'm like, "Yes."
Win.
That's always a
win
good
for
feeling.
Aaron.
Always a good feeling.
Always. Well, you know what? We had a big intro for him, and now we're gonna have an even bigger intro for him. Keegan, my man, how are we?
We're doing excellent. This weekend was confirmation that my golf game has fallen off a cliff in the past 2 years.
Yep.
111 on Friday, 109 on Saturday. So I need some work really badly.
I mean, those aren't terrible.
Welcome to the club.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's a long day on the course. It's a long day on the course.
I keep my ball in play off the tee about 15% of the time, I'd say. So
I should put away the driver, big fella.
No, I don't hit driver. I hit 5-iron, and I just block it straight into the woods to my right. Right, hook it. Like it's horrible.
You always got to go driver. Come on, just whip out the big stick, hit the driver every single hole. We aren't pros. This
Every
isn't
single
PGA
hole.
Tour.
Par threes, absolutely.
Yeah, par threes. Screw it. Why not? Have some damn fun. But I golfed on Saturday as well. I don't even want to say what my score was, but it was pretty around what yours were. So
okay.
That was more about the transfusions and the Mickey Ultras. No Cincy Light available at this country club. So sadly.
Oh, country club. Ooh.
we are in the Cincy Light studios. We did need to mention that. And joining us in the Cincy Light studios yet again, Ryan Royer, the boy. The boy is back in town. How are we, sir?
You can't text nobody?
Do you all text me?
Yeah.
Oh, Sorry, guys. I was running around. I had a busy evening. I was actually playing
New
golf
phone,
on
who dis?
Sunday. Yeah. I was playing golf Sunday too. I was me, Bryce, Burton, Will Adams, Ben Bryant, did a little scramble up at the Ali Sidlowski Memorial outing in Cleveland. So that was a great time. I did not play well. Those
Okay.
guys are significantly better. But it's always fun to get to go out there and play. But I'm kind of in your boat, Keegan, where not a lot of straight good shots going.
Yeah.
Also did
Well,
taste of Cincinnati yesterday.
What was the best
Pretty
thing you
good.
had?
oh,
I had a short rib empanada with like a chipotle aioli on top of it. That was pretty outstanding.
I'll tell you what, you put aioli after a word, it's going to be good. Basically, any aioli, I'm down for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. Had a shrimp fritter that was really good, some chicken and sausage gumbo that was tasty.
Oof.
We had these little mini pancakes with Nutella and strawberries, powdered sugar. Those were pretty good. We had a pretty good day at Taste of Cincinnati. The only thing we tried to get this place had soul rolls. You ever had a soul roll? It's essentially just like a soul food egg roll. So it's in an egg roll wrapper, but they just put soul food in it.
Okay.
The line was like an hour long. Like that was the one thing that we were like, oh man, I gotta. So Keegan, remember I told you that place, the cheesesteak place in Rock Hill?
Yeah.
They had soul rolls.
Okay.
And they were unbelievable. It's the first time I had ever had them. So when I saw that there were soul rolls, I was like, oh man, this is going to be incredible. And the line was like an hour long. So I didn't get to have any.
I'll have to put that on the list when I go down there.
I don't
How long
remember
does
where
it
the
go
place
for?
is. He's talking about when he goes back to Rock Hill,
Oh.
South Carolina.
Okay.
Taste is over tonight.
Damn.
Might be over at like 9:00, I think, something like that. I think we lost Brent.
I don't know.
I think we lost Brent.
It's taking them.
If you're lost, if you're lost and it takes you a while to find your way back home, you're probably going to need to get your car checked out when you make it back. So go visit our good friends at Danco Transmission. Get 10% off. Mention the boy, Ryan Royer. Mention our guy, Keegan Nickerson. Maybe Jordan Bishel. They'll give you 10% off and get you taken care of. Check out www.dancotransmission.com for more information. I got you, Brent.
there we go, man. Danco, shout out Keegan Nickerson. Shout out Jordan Bishop. Shout out Landon Viderick. You know what? Shout out the boys. Shout out Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's go win some games. But roll right into that topic. And Keegan, I'm going to literally pass the mic over to you because it seemed like a pretty cool setting. A big crowd from what I could tell, pictures and, obviously on the ESPN2 stream. But a special moment, Bearcats heading back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019. No, I'm not talking about basketball. I'm talking about baseball. Coach Jordan Bishel, he's not a stranger to the NCAA tournament, and he is turning himself into a legend here in Cincinnati. But you were on scene, able to talk to Coach and some of the players afterwards as well. Kind of just break down the day, and it seemed like a very, very special event.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was a year and a few months in the making because Bishel gets to Cincinnati and, you get to the end of last season and everyone's thinking, oh, crap, this team's pretty good. Like they might be able to do something here. And then the UConn game gets rained out. They lose 2 out of 3 to Oklahoma, and then they lose in the Big 12 tournament, and it kind of fizzles out. But the overwhelming sentiment was they have the right things in place in order to get to where they want to be, which is the NCAA tournament. Bishel misses in 2023, or misses in 2024. Now they're back. and he was there with Central Michigan in 19, 21, and 22. So it's kind of where he's always supposed to be is the NCAA tournament. And it was funny because with the RPI, no one was really doubting whether they would get in. But I mean, you see it with everything about people getting snubbed and not making it in. And, you know, like we saw with the NCAA tournament with basketball this past year, like you never know what can happen.
Mhm.
And like every regional that everyone wanted to go to, like Nashville, Myrtle Beach, Clemson, and then I think there was one more. Whenever those regionals would come up on the screen before they'd list the names, all the players would start going like, "Oh, here we go. This could be us." And then 14 regions go by and you don't hear
Yeah.
anything. And I started to see some players like turning around and like trying to see if anyone else is nervous. Like, should we be worried or are we going to be fine?
Right.
And
Right.
then the Knoxville region came on, and that was like the loudest cheer of, you know, this is, first of all, it's Knoxville, Tennessee, so it's the Volunteers. That's awesome. Two, they just stole our pitching coach after last season, so that would be another reason to be excited about it. Miami goes off the board, then UC goes off the board, and everyone goes crazy. It was really, really a cool moment. Being able to just sit there, and I'm just filming the screen with the crowd also in the frame, and then deleting like 30 videos and just waiting for the right one. And then I got the reaction, and it was really, really cool. But you know, talking to Coach Bischel, Carrington Cross, Loudon Brooks, Nathan Taylor after, it seems like a determined group and someone that's really, really excited for the opportunity. And just how quickly it turned from, you know, where UC was and now where they're at, and kind of the pedigree that Jordan Bischel has shown throughout his career to develop his teams and then be a winning program. It seems like they're building for a rock solid foundation in the future as well. And I think him talking about the players buying in, despite having other opportunities like Landon Vidrick and Carrington Cross, they all could have gone somewhere else and played, but they kind of recognized what coach is trying to do. That was something that was really cool to me as well. So I'm excited. Friday, 1 p.m. on ESPN Plus against Wake Forest. And then you never know what could happen because either they're going to play Tennessee, which is a really good matchup and a really cool game, or they're going to play Miami of Ohio, who they beat twice this year. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
How impressive, though, is this season that Carrington Cross put together? You played collegiate baseball, and for him to be, I mean, you talk about him potentially going somewhere else, and for him to be the face of this team, arguably, there's been plenty of guys who've stepped up when their number's been called, but then for the second year in a row, help put it all together at the end of the season. How impressed have you been as a previous collegiate level baseball player with his season and the season as a whole?
Well, I just pulled up his UC page just to get a confirmation of the stats. And you know how sometimes it shows up with like their headshots from each season? If
Yeah.
you guys want like a laugh, you should go look at his freshman year picture because he looks like a completely different human being. Like he's got like a fade and a comb over. He looks like all bright eyed, and now he's got the buzz cut, the scruffy beard, and it's like this is a dude that's been in college for like 6 years. But yeah, I mean, I think Coach Bischel, he talked about it. He said this group of 14 coaches or 16, whatever it is in the Big 12, there might be some schools that don't have baseball programs. I'm not really sure on it right now. But he said 14. He said, we never agree on anything. Like you cannot get all of us to unanimously agree on everything. And all 14 coaches unanimously agreed that Carrington Cross was first team. And I think for the first time in a while, and definitely I think for the first time in UC's history. But I mean, I think you match his level of talent with how he plays, and it's kind of just the aggressive, grinded out mindset of doing what needs to be done to win. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the country. I wouldn't say he's the best fielder in the country. Wouldn't say he has the most pop, but just his ability to put the ball in play and be aggressive on the base pass. That's something that's really interesting to me. And also his personality is awesome as well. Like we talked to him on the 513 day stream, and he was having some laughs, having a ton of fun with it. So I think he's going to fit someone who will have a really good chance to have success at the professional level just because he impacts winning in so many ways. And he's such a leader and he's loyal. So being able to see all the success that has been really, really cool. And I really want it to climax at moving on to that super regional and getting out of the Knoxville regional somehow, some way. And this time of year, it can come down to one pitch, come down to one play in the field, one base running mistake, or one stolen base. So this should be a really fun weekend of baseball.
You know what? I think you've had access to talking to a lot of coaches on, whether it be football, basketball, and now getting to talk more and more with Coach Bishel, which, first of all, we need to give a shout out to Coach Bishel. We finally got recognized by his absolute idol over this past week, and that is Mountain Dew. That is Mountain Dew. And shouts to that. That's amazing. For Mountain Dew to make that graphic, I don't even know if maybe we sent it to them and they posted it, or they made it. They literally looked up what a Bearcat is. They put the real Bearcat on that graphic. It's pretty impressive. But Coach Bishel, man, Ryan and I talk about it every single day that we text, and it's Bishel's the man. He's simply a guy that you would really want to hang out with outside of the sport. How do you feel like interacting with him? It kind of brings like a different approach of where it's like, don't take things too seriously, kind of have that relaxed, eased approach, but also have a chip on your shoulder because he wants to still carry in the underdog role. But I just think, I think Bishel's the man.
I hadn't seen that Mountain Dew graphic until just now, and that was awesome. Like they quote tweeted the mid-game interview with that. That's hilarious.
And then he quote tweeted them and said facts.
Facts. Yeah. He's the best. But I think his attitude comes from his journey to where he's at now. And I got to talk to him before his first season, and we sat down for probably 45 minutes, and we just went through his journey. And he was college baseball player, and then got an accounting job, and then realized I really don't want to do this. I love baseball too much, and then just slummed it as an assistant at an NAIA school, and just it went from job to job. NAIA D3, D2. He was making $300 a month, staying in the dorms, and then he got married, and I don't know if he had kids yet, but there was a point where he was a month, maybe 2 months away from just saying, I can't do this anymore. I got to go back to accounting because I have to make money for my family. And then right at that point, I think he got his first either big assistant job or first head job. And that's when it kind of clicked for him that, okay, I can do this. So I think he's just grateful for the path because he knows that it could have very easily ended up not being what happened. He could be the accountant right now, but he's very grateful that he's a baseball coach because no offense to accountants out there, you're doing very well, but being a D1 baseball coach in the Big 12, multiple NCAA tournament berths, it's what Jordan Bishel wanted to do at the very least. I also think it rubs off on your players, and everything I get from the players is that they love playing for him. They love how he coaches them and the style of play that he enlists with his guys. So, he's got a really, really interesting story. I wrote that a while ago. I should probably go back and plug that again just for people that are getting back into kind of baseball and getting into the team. So, he's a really, really interesting guy, and I think he's he was the right man for the job, and Cunningham hit it on the head. And now, as we know, with every Cincinnati coach, got to hold on to him because other people are going to be knocking on the door with the amount of success that they've had.
Oh, just kind of like lightning in a bottle success too. It just goes to Central Michigan, does amazing at Central Michigan, comes here, immediately has success. It's very impressive. But I want to know your thoughts on kind of Bishel ball. You're a baseball guy. Obviously, we talked about that. So it's kind of like the X's and O's approach that you see out of Bishel ball with kind of just the intangibles that they do that kind of throw other teams off. Because baseball, it seems, I played it, but not to your level. It seems like it's a very mental game at multiple times
Yeah.
throughout the game. So I think what they do, that Bishop ball approach, is more than just bunts and aggressive base running and different things of
Yeah.
that sort. I feel like the Bishop ball, in your eyes, what is that?
I think it's about applying pressure on opposing defenses. And I think it's one of the things that all my coaches told me when I was coming up, that you have to force the opposing team to make a play and get you out. Going for, drop the
Mhm.
back shoulder, launch angle, those fly balls are going to get caught all the time. And Cincinnati doesn't have the luxury of beating out LSU and Tennessee and Texas for these power hitter guys who can both hit 430 and also hit like 15, 16 bombs a year. That's just not going to happen. So you have to find a different way to win. And I think bunting and stealing bases is a great way to do that. And once you have that aggressive mindset and the guys prove to themselves that they can do it, you can kind of run away with it. I have a soft spot for that kind of baseball because people would actually make fun of our organization because we were the Ram Baseball Club, but people would call us the Ram Bunt Club because we bunted so
Mhm.
much. But it's my dad was the coach and he knew, like, I'm not dealing with athletic studs here. Like these
Right.
kids aren't the 99th percentile of size and speed. So we've got to win other ways. And that's what I think. They obviously have really good athletes and really strong players, but you can't play LSU's game. You can't play Tennessee's game. And that was one of the things that he said today about how teams have success in the postseason is taking it one game at a time and also staying true to your identity, not trying to live up to the atmosphere and just try to hit home runs all the time. They're still going to play Bishop ball, even though it's the NCAA tournament now.
Well, you mentioned playing Tennessee and trying to play their game. We don't have to worry about them yet. We got to worry about Wake Forest first.
Yeah.
So, have you looked over the numbers? I saw a comparison chart between all four of the teams
Mhm.
that are in the Knoxville bracket. Have you looked over the numbers, and what are your thoughts on Wake Forest early on?
Yeah, they've got a really good number one starting pitcher and Blake Morningstar. 2.71 ERA, 14 appearances, 13 starts with a 6-1 record. And then his strikeout to walk ratio is 82-25. He was first team all ACC, so that's probably going to be who they face in game one, I would safely assume. So that's obviously going to be a really tough matchup. From there, their starters aren't great. Like, I think the next highest ERA out of a usual starter would be there's 509, there's 547, there's 567. So 509 and 13 starts for Matthew Dallas. The interesting player on this team is a Butler transfer, Cade Lewis, who's a true sophomore. Spent 1 year with the Bulldogs. He had 392 with 11 home runs this year. And he was second team all ACC. And then let's see who their home run leader is. Jack Winnie had 14 home runs and he hit 296. So kind of a true power threat there. But yeah, I mean, we've seen as like we're around Cincinnati, we know the Reds. This is a team that breeds talent and they it's a very talent rich area and they've had two top 10 starting pitcher picks in the last two drafts in Rhett Lauder and Chase Burns. So a lot of these guys have played postseason baseball and they've played in the NCAA tournament. So they're gonna be ready for the moment, and it's not going to be a thing where you catch them on their heels. You're going to have to attack and attack quickly, and hopefully you can kind of rattle Blake Morningstar and get to the bullpen.
Yeah, what
What
worries
would kind
me
of be
is that
your okay? Yeah.
they're ranked 13th in the nation at home runs per game. Wake Forest is compared to Cincinnati's 85 ranking.
Yeah.
On base, they're number 6 in the nation. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So they can hit the ball. So you mentioned a lot of pitching stuff. I'm more concerned. I honestly probably about them just beating the shit out of the ball.
Yeah, and that's where you have to fill the strike zone because that's where if you walk a bunch of guys, That's the 3-run home runs, the grand slams that break games open and absolutely kill your confidence in such a big spot. So for guys like Nathan Taylor, Carson Marsh, guys that are going to come out of the bullpen, fill up the strike zone and challenge them. Put pressure on them and make them beat you. Don't try to get cute and pump around the zone and get strikeouts all the time. The most important games for pitchers in this kind of setting, and Bishop talked about it today, is the guys that can go 7 and 8 innings. You're not going to do that throwing 25 pitches an inning, trying to blow up by guys. So, if they take 1 or 2 balls out of the yard, have them be solos, and see if you can score 6 runs in that game and win. But it's a good team. They're gonna get theirs. Just don't give out free passes. That's what's gonna kill you.
In that same graphic though, Aaron, look at their fielding numbers. What are they?
Terrible. 220.
Yeah, 220. So
224.
Bishop ball.
Yeah.
Bishop ball, baby.
Yeah.
What would be your approach as far as pitching goes when it comes to, because obviously for those that don't know, I mean, I'm pretty elementary when it comes to like the NCAA baseball tournament. I truly don't know too much about it, but as far as like the regional goes, it's double elimination, correct? And so are you immediately going like kind of treating it like it's single elimination and kind of pitching your best arms right away, trying to figure that out, or are you kind of playing it as if it's like a 2-game series?
Yeah, that's where the coaching would have to come in, and I'm not so sure, because you have to know about where your pitcher's arms are, like how they've done in the rest of the season in terms of getting 6, 7 innings into a game. But as I said before, and as Bishop said, like, it's 1-game seasons now. So I don't think you can focus on the next game, because then you're going to end up playing Tennessee 0-1, and you'd much rather not do that. So I think you have to take each game as it is and kind of hope for the best. I don't think you can kind of plan in the long term in this run, especially because you don't have 4 number 1 guys that can start like probably Tennessee does. Might be a down year for Wake Forest in terms of pitching. Their team ERA is 4.67. But Tennessee is going to have 4 guys that'll go out there and shove the Friday 3 guys Friday through Sunday. So I just think you have to put your best team on the field each game, and just let the ball roll where it may.
You got any ideas of how many bunts we're going to lay down? Let's say we go 3 games. You got any bunt predictions for the boys?
9.5. Over a 3-game series, I'll do 9.5. If it's double elimination, we should do it for 2 games. So I'll go 6.5 for the first 2 games.
You know it's funny though, like when you watch the games, because I mean, all full transparency, I've only watched spot games here and there, and then obviously over this last month, it's been a lot of watching the games. But you do see where they do the fake bunt. They bring the bunt and then they bring it back and then like smack it. Try and catch the fielders coming in. You hate it?
Well, I don't hate if you're going to pull back and swing. I don't hate that, but I've seen a lot of guys just show bunt and then pull back like they had no intention of putting the ball in play, and they just got a nice meaty 92-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle that you just wasted.
Right.
So I get. Maybe you're trying to see what the defense does, but wasting a ball that could be hitting the gap, I don't like that. But I just played JUCO. They know better than me.
Classic Butcher Boy. Classic Butcher Boy.
Vid is going to kind of be the unknown. How his injury status is obviously still just considered day to day at this point. What do you think his impact added back into this lineup? Because I obviously they moved Cross up to lead off, and Vid all of a sudden you lose not only his unbelievable talent on base at the bat, but also out in the field. Do you have any kind of vibes on if Vid is going to be able to go on Friday?
Yeah, Bishop, he's very clear that it was day to day. So I don't know. I also feel like since they beat Texas Tech, maybe it was the case where he could have played against West Virginia, but knowing that they probably had their spot locked up, they just didn't want him to.
Yeah.
I saw him at the show today. He wasn't limping or anything, or he didn't look like he was in any pain. He looked like he was in good spirits. So I don't know, but yeah, that's a huge impact because of his danger on the base paths. I think mainly, obviously, he can absolutely kill the ball, and he's a good fielder, has a great arm. But I think stealing the base here and there can have just such a small impact or such a big impact on the game, despite it being such a small thing from the layman's eye. So I think he could end up being one of the more important players, and if they were to lose a game by a run and he doesn't play, you just have to think, man, what would it have been like if Landon Viderick was in the game and he was able to steal a base and then they get a CNI single and that's a run, you know?
Yeah.
Because just like Carrington Cross, how he impacts winning, how he impacts the game cannot be understated on so many levels.
Did you have a chance were they serving up any Diet Dew at the viewing party today?
I told this to Chad on the radio. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it, but Bishop had one. So it's like he either brought it from his office or he's got a secret refrigerator
Definitely.
somewhere in the depths of Fifth Third Arena. So which, he very easily could. But yeah, I was looking for it because I was actually hankering for one when I got there. They had some Papa John's, and I was like, a Diet Dew would be good right now. And I figured it would be all over the place, but no, it was just him repping it, and everyone else was just looking. So
I mean, he's got this. He has to have a secret stash somewhere. Got to.
yeah.
So a quick kind of off the cuff random question, kind of on the lines of Diet Dew, no free ads, and Skyline Chili, no free ads. But have any of you guys tried that new Skyline Chili dip Chilito? Is it good?
I haven't tried it. It's a
What is it?
Skyline Chili Dip Chilito, like there's sour cream in it and stuff.
And like
Or cream
Frito
cheese,
chips.
not sour cream. Wait, hold on.
I had it this weekend.
You did. Go on.
I did.
Tell me, how was it?
It was it was all right. I mean, it was look. If I was gonna order a Chilito, I would order that. I would not order that Chilito. I would continue to get the Chilito that I like to get, which is with onion and the habanero cheese, as opposed to that one. It was a nice change of pace, but not anything that I would go back to the well on. Like it should be one of those things where maybe you bring it around once a year. I think they should bring it around, maybe around Super Bowl. I think that would be fun. But that's my take on it.
Good.
That actually looks really good.
I know.
Making me hungry.
I know. I saw Mo posted on Twitter. I was like, "Whoa, okay." Now they're figuring stuff out. Royer, are you one of those guys that double carves up and gets the noodles inside of that boy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got to. It's like getting rice in a burrito.
Yeah, exactly. Damn, that's a good point. I never really thought about that. But yeah, Gibbs, are you heading down to Knoxville? Is that something you all of a sudden are thinking maybe do, or?
No, I'm not. I'll probably be covering it remotely. Tim Adams for us I think he's planning on going down there. No confirmation on that yet, but I think that was the rumor I heard.
Have you seen the cost of tickets?
Yeah,
on the secondary market.
It's Tennessee.
Is it because Tennessee owns all the tickets and they're pretty much just putting like setting the price on the secondary markets pretty much?
I don't know that they're setting, but everybody's buying the tickets and then gonna make a boatload of money off of them.
It's insane. I mean
what $300 to $1,000 to get in?
Standing room only tickets. Yeah. I mean, Royer's gonna front the bill for us, and we're all heading down there. I think think it'll be a fun
Shit,
little
I
weekend
wish.
for the BCJ crew. God damn.
I wish.
Well, what? So it's 1 o'clock, first pitch, ESPN Plus, Friday, and then game 2 is I had the schedule up, but when is game? Oh yeah, so the game 2 would then be Saturday. Game 2 is Tennessee versus Miami, but the Bearcats' second game would be on Saturday. No times yet for that. So yeah, it looks like okay, Saturday, Sunday, then Monday. Okay, so you know what? Why not get hot? Let's keep getting hot, keep rolling in. The baseball team is on fire, and there's no better guy than Jordan Bishop to be leading the crew. Chad, you wanna pepper in some more questions for Keegan? I mean, let's be honest.
You guys hit on most of them. Like, you know, Wake is I don't want to say a baseball power, but Wake is a very, very. I mean, they got the defending national champs.
Yep.
And a team that has just pumped out like high value draft picks over the past couple of years. So
yeah,
it's going to be a great challenge, as Butch Jones would say about every opponent that they played in his entire tenure in Cincinnati. That's an old running Mick Cronin joke that Mick would always. Yeah, it's going to be a great challenge. Just ask Butch. Every game's a great challenge. But I don't know, Keegs. Like, do you think there's some value in this team playing the exact opposite style of Tennessee and Wake Forest?
I think so, just because it's something that you don't often see in the SEC and ACC. I mean, when they first released the first 8 top seeds and 6 of them were the SEC,
yeah,
that was ridiculous. I mean, because there's some argument about football. Like, I think the SEC is still comfortably number 1, but some people are like, "Oh, the Big Ten. Oh, the Big Ten's also really good." And then in basketball, there's arguments. It could be ACC, it could be SEC, it could be Big 12. The SEC is clearly far and away, it's not even close to the best baseball conference. And I'm willing to say it will be for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
Because it's also funny seeing the regional maps, and it's just all the very bottom right of the country, and then UCLA, Oregon, and Oregon State. But I think it helps that it's the opposite style, just because it's not something that they're used to seeing. And also UC's, I think they've built this team to be able to have success with the identity that they play with. So guys like Jonathan Ford, guys like Landon Viderick, and then guys like Carrington Cross, they thrive in the identity, and it's not puzzle pieces that really don't fit at the end of the day. So I don't think by any means this would be I think they have a better chance to beat Tennessee than the 2019 team had to beat Oregon State. I think so. I don't think this is as big of a David Goliath thing as a lot of people may think, especially because Tennessee has slipped a little bit as of late. I think someone told me they just got trounced by Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament, which, I mean, trounced by Vanderbilt isn't really that big of a it's Vanderbilt, so they do that a lot. But
yeah, I kind of feel like the whole SEC thing when it comes to baseball, you know, it's the typical thing about playing year round, having the warm weather that, you know, like for summer ball, people go to SEC locations to play, you know, in these summer ball leagues when they're in college. So it's kind of like an easy thing for them to be good. But it does seem like, you know, if you kind of hit them with something they haven't seen before, you can kind of catch them off guard. And I think that's what Chad was alluding to. And I think that can only be good. And you know what? It'll be funny now because I think Dave was talking about it, or someone was talking about it on one of the pods, and it was about how, like, if Tennessee were to play Cincinnati, you're going to see, like, you know, because all these Tennessee dugout fights happening and whatnot, and Cincinnati's dugout, they're loud and they're proud, and you know, Bishop always says it's like a softball type setting in there. They stay loose and this, that, and the other side. Hopefully that gets under someone's skin, whether it be Wake Forest or Tennessee or both. And then, of course, Miami of Ohio as well. I played them twice already this season, won both of those games. So we'll see what happens. It should be a lot of fun, and I'm excited because like even the young guys like Quentin Coates and Derek Pitts, like they are like it seems like they're getting valuable playing time, and they're exciting players. It just this whole team top to bottom is just a really fun watch. So let's hope they get some wins. Let's hope they string together some wins.
It takes one pitcher throwing a ball into right field on a bunt for this to happen. And when this happens, it's hard to have success in the game of baseball because everything is impacted in every aspect of the game. So look out for that.
For those of you listening in podcast form, Keegan did a clenching of some sort. Head to the YouTube footage to see what he clenched. But yes, that's when things get tight, and that's when teams freak out. Chad, what were you about to say there, man?
I don't remember. It wasn't that important.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they get some wins. And like you said, it'd be awesome to be able to kind of push forward and head to. I mean, it would only be fitting that the Road to Omaha podcast takes place, and now the Bearcats. Let's head them all the way to Omaha. I mean, that would be just simply amazing. But I don't have really anything else more on baseball. I'm sure you guys will probably have a little bit more on the BCJ pod and obviously nightcaps leading up to Friday night, but Friday afternoon. So if you want to go and timestamp this, we can renew our favorite segment every single week now that Ryan is back in the saddle. So take it away, Chad.
This time, Sam, brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. Quick Paper services over 150 restaurants with weekly low minimum next day deliveries, providing a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. I do remember now. I was going to say, look, I mean, 2019, when they went to Corvallis and beat Oregon State, like that was incredible. And Oregon State was the defending national champs, right? They had won the title the year before.
And they had the Gold Spikes winner.
Yeah, so it was kind of a similar situation where, a lot of pressure on a defending champion. And a team that, maybe could surprise some people.
Yeah.
So let them hang. Just go down to Knoxville and let them hang.
Right. That 2019 was just lightning in a bottle. And I think that baseball is the one thing where it's like get hot at the right time and anything can happen. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if you're breaking it down, like Keegan said, the pitching is where you would be the most concerned. Cincinnati's good at the top, but they haven't really in that movement upwards have not really got 4 or 5 guys that can carry you through a weekend. So that's going to be the challenging part. It'll be interesting to see, if they continue to throw 1-2 in a double elimination tournament like they did in the Big 12 championship where it was single elimination. Yeah. And they really needed one. And they probably would have still made it given the way things kind of played out. But you didn't want to play with that fire. So you went with your 1 and 2 guys. Is it a little different, if you're hypothetically facing Miami of Ohio on Saturday with a chance to keep your season alive?
Yeah, and you know what, Chad? The main thing was just making sure your RPI didn't get to 40, because then I think you'd be snubbed by the NCAA selection committee.
Sometimes your RPI is in the 30s and you get left out because you're just not worthy.
Yeah. It's just don't feel bad for that team a little bit north, but you know what? Hey,
I wasn't talking about anybody specific. I was just it can happen. It's possible.
It did. Right. And you know what? Here we are.
D'Artagnan's in shambles.
Who? I still don't know what you guys are talking about. I was just pure hypothetical situation.
Right.
Purely hypothetical.
Gosh, can you believe we get to the riff now? Like I am so damn excited for this Ryan Royer. So damn excited.
Keegan, you sticking around for the rest of the show? Riffing and a little mailbag action? You ain't got nothing.
Why not? Why not?
Let's go.
Go, Ryan.
I didn't know
Let's
if
go.
Chad was going to do some sort of like filler for the sponsor that he needs.
No, we need a sponsor.
We're still looking for a sponsor. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody sponsor Riffing with Royer. There you go, Ryan.
All right. Let's just keep it simple to start. Give me the predictions for this regional out in Knoxville. How do you think the Bearcats shake out?
1-2. Lose to Wake Forest, beat Miami of Ohio, and then lose the next game.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm probably going to sound like an idiot here, but were they the 2 or the 3 in this regional?
3. Wake's the 2.
They are the 3. Okay, yeah, that kind of sucks. Not having being the home team in that one. I think they beat Wake Forest. Honestly, I just think Magic and Nate Taylor on the bump, hopefully, and kind of throwing out that one game at a time approach, and then Tennessee's just really damn good. And then what would happen after that? Would they play Tennessee again, or would they play like Wake Forest? Is it just kind of how does it work out?
Depends on how the other games go. I mean,
okay, yeah.
You have to lose twice to be out,
right?
So
okay,
if they beat Wake, they would play the winner of Tennessee, Miami. Then if they lose that game, they would drop down and play the winner of the first 2 losers.
Miami, Wake Forest. Okay, yeah.
And then you would go into if you win the losers bracket, then you have to beat the winners bracket team twice.
Oh, baby.
To advance. So I mean, the reality is, man, I'm not going to pick against Tennessee in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Even though they're not as strong as they were a year ago. But I think I'm with Brent. I think they surprised Wake Forest. I think they've got their ace on the bump that keeps the ball in the yard a little bit more, which takes away the way Wake wants to play. They get on base at a pretty high clip, it looks like, and then try to drive the ball out. But that the thing that worries me, Keegan, that park is small, right, in Knoxville?
Yeah, I saw some tweets saying that it was small. Yeah.
Or if it's not small, the ball jumps out of there.
There was one tweet that said it was a T-ball stadium, which I've never really seen a T-ball stadium. That'd be pretty fun to play.
It's a heck of a T-ball stadium if that's the case.
Right. Amen.
So yeah, I think they get Wake. Then they fall to Tennessee. They drop down, probably have to play Wake again, or maybe Miami pulls the upset and bounces Wake.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think overcoming Tennessee is probably going to be a daunting task in their yard. Coming off what
320 to the corners, 390 to center field. That's my high school stadium to the corners.
And you still couldn't hit it out of there.
No, I didn't. Not one time.
But you could bump the best of them, man.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Aaron, what you got?
I'm going to say that they just find something that gets them out of this round.
Wow.
I'm tired of the SEC talk. I'm tired of it all. And I'm blaming Greg Sankey and his ridiculous comments after this past weekend for that, but that's a whole different discussion.
And a nightcap.
Yeah, that's a nightcap.
Give me the Bearcats. So they're advancing. They're gonna fuck around and advance. Let's go.
3-0, 4-0. Do they?
No, they'll lose one. They'll lose one. Which one? I don't know, but they're gonna advance.
Okay. All the diet dudes in the world, pound them. We'll be shotgun diet dudes on this podcast.
That's how he gets his sponsorship. He's gonna attribute the win and
Yeah.
advance to
I'm
Diet
in.
Mountain Dew.
I'm in.
No Gatorade bath for
Love it.
Coach. He's getting a Diet Mountain Dew bath.
Oh,
Could you imagine how long it would take to pour cans of Diet Dew into a
You get 2
bucket?
liters for that. No, you get 2 liters for that.
that might take
Spiked.
longer. Just-
You gotta swirl
The
them
swirl,
and then
Yeah, you do
cipher
that.
them.
See?
Exactly right.
uh,
All right,
Man.
Carrington Cross over under 4.5 hits the first 2 games combined.
under.
Over. The guy gets on base over 500% of the time, or over 50% of the time.
Yeah.
He's going to get hits. He's going to have 9 at bats. He's going to have 5 hits.
He's gonna hit over 500 against Wake Forest.
Yes.
Their pitching's not
He's that
great.
good. He's that good.
He's the truth.
Why not?
Let's
He's over,
see. Let's
over
look
4.5
into it.
for sure. For sure, over 4.5. If they let us bet individual players in college, I'd do it.
Wait. So you're asking 4.5 hits in the first game?
In the
2
first
games.
2 games.
Oh,
Combined.
over for sure. Especially if he's leadoff. You get up
Yeah, he's lead up. He's going to get. He might get
5
10.
times. Yeah,
He might get
5
10.
times each
5
game.
for 10.
Yeah.
Keegan's a hater.
Not a hater. Hold on.
I mean, let's be honest. If they want to have some sort of special, trip to Knoxville, they need him to be at that Big 12 Player of the Year level.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
It would have
Wake
to be
Forest. Wake Forest would have the 6th highest team ERA in the Big 12. So
Yeah,
Wake
middle of the
Forest,
pack.
Schmake Forest.
it's not middle. It's yeah.
It's
Upper
just
half.
above middle of the pack.
over.
Better than the Big 12 champion, Arizona.
Oh, okay,
Tournament champion.
nice.
You see it in play Arizona, did they?
I don't think they did.
As he makes
Roy,
his
what are you-
point and takes a vigorous swig of Diet Coke.
What are you taking, Ryan? Over for the boys?
I'm taking them. Yeah, they're gonna need him if they want to. If they want to have any serious chance, we need hero ball. So
Yeah.
we'll take it from anyone we can. It's got to be the best player in the league.
Amen.
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 All right. How shocked were you that Jordan Bischel made a NCAA tournament before Wes Miller? Give me a shock factor rating to 10. Is that something you never expected?
I'll put myself out there. I don't care. I will say probably a 7.5. Only because
I'm a 9.
I think we all thought that Wes had put together the roster to do it. I think it goes lower for me, but because what we saw Jordan Bischel do last year, I don't think any of us were surprised that he did this again this year. So we're not surprised that Jordan Bischel made the tournament. We're more surprised that basketball didn't.
Wes Miller didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And I mean, like, yet again, full transparency. We are all basketball fans first. I mean, I don't know about Keegan, but as far as being brought up on Bearcat basketball, of course, football, we had our love there here and there. So I think our hopes, at least mine, definitely, are always higher in expectations of going to the tournament. So kind of like what Aaron's saying, you thought it would have happened by now, and hopefully this is the year that it does. But when you bring in Bischel, you did kind of see that little, like, okay, this guy's figuring it out. But we never really knew how good the baseball team would be. I mean, one tournament in the past 30 years or 40 years. So
50.
Yeah, 50 years. So it's surprising, definitely. But as far as Bischel himself, I guess it's not too surprising.
I mean, I think the thing with Bischel is that we haven't seen necessarily with Wes. There is a defined, like, this is the identity. This is what we're going to be. This is what we're going to be about. We're going to do it this way, and we're going to make you adjust to us. That I think, in baseball gives them a little bit of an advantage, because it's not a way that a lot of teams play anymore. Like, they make you play out of your comfort zone. So, I think that puts them in a spot where if he continues to get the right guys that fit the way that he wants to play the game of baseball, you're not going to see a lot of teams playing that style. Teams aren't going to switch back to it. Like, it's get on base, hit home runs. Like, that's baseball. So yeah, I think it's not really a surprise, especially like when they went and took that series from Duke to open the season.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, like these guys are for real. They're going to be a menace from now until Selection Monday, and they were, and they got in. And Wes hasn't been able to find that magic.
Yeah. Hopefully he will. Ryan, you got one more?
I had that one that we were, putting back and forth to each other.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
you
that was
wanna, you
fun.
want to rip it open for
Oh,
us?
you can text Brent back.
Oh, this was the other day.
I'm literally telling you, we text every day, Dad, every day.
I have a separate phone just for Brent.
Yeah, numerous texts.
Brent Burner.
It's literally called the Brent Burner, and you know what? His texts show up as green with his burner phone. So it are you rocking a flip phone? Is that what you use with me? I mean,
Yeah.
Little T9 action.
One of those Motorola
Keegan and Ryan,
razors.
you guys even know what T9 is?
Brent's
You guys
company
even know
writes
what
it off
T9
for
is?
taxes.
Yeah, it is. It's the one where you have to press the button X amount of times for the certain number.
Oh yeah.
There
Little
we go.
T9. Yeah, that was back when the texting lingo was like very short. A lot of K's and a lot of "Are you here?" But like just the R and the U. Fun times. But when you texted me last night, you FaceTimed me. Remember this? I don't know if you remembered. It was a little hairy for me after the Indy 500, getting that little loopy stage. But you were like, "Hey man, are you at the Pacers game?" And I was like, "No, I'm not at the Pacers game, man." And why, bro? And you were like, "Dude, because like Timothy Chalamet is there. He is sitting courtside as the big time New York Knicks fan." And you were like, "Gosh, if only I could be that for the Cincinnati Bearcats and sit courtside, and they would show me every single time." And I said, "Dude, that's a good question on the BVP. Who would be your number one pick to be the super fan, a la Jack Nicholson, a la Timothy Chalamet, a la Spike Lee, a la all of these new guys who are kind of infiltrating your screens, Marlins man, if you will, Dave Portnoy, if you will. Who would be your guys' pick to be courtside or field side that they show each time?" Because I think Nick Lachey was the one that kind of was for a little bit and then died off. Keegan, who you got?
Should we do a snake draft? Because I feel like we're all going to say one of two people.
Yes, we can do a snake draft. I like that.
Okay.
Snake draft.
2-round snake draft.
You get 2 picks. We're going to go around the horn. Start with Chad, down to Aaron, over to Aaron, down to Keegan, to Ryan, back to me, and then go right back. So, Chad, take it away, man.
I mean, the easy answer right now is Kelsey, right? Like,
which
Jason,
one?
Which one?
Jason.
Okay.
Well, Travis, if he has his partner with him.
Oh,
see,
but
that's
if
a stipulation.
Right, that's a stipulation. Just one like solo, I think it would be Jason.
Sometimes Timmy Chalamet does have his better half there with him. So that's a good point.
I mean, if it's Travis and Taylor, like the world would shut down with Travis at a UC game.
Which they did announce that they're going to be going to the Cincinnati Nebraska game. A little New Heights versus Bussin' with the boys.
Yeah,
So,
they didn't say Taylor was going to be there.
Right, but who knows? Stars will be out. Stars will be out on a Thursday night. So your pick is Jason. All right, Aaron, who you got?
T. Higgins.
Okay. He's been to games.
He's
Okay.
he's been to games before. Look, I'm just trying to get somebody different that isn't one of the answers. Go on.
Okay. I like it. Keegan, who you got?
Sauce.
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce.
Good pick.
So
Good
it can
pick.
be one that didn't go to UC.
That's
Yeah,
what I thought
did-
we were
did
doing, but
Timothy-
I do like the T. Higgins pick.
Yeah. Did
Because he has
Timothy
been to
Chalamet
games.
play for the Knicks? Did he go to the Knicks?
Well, he's like from New York. He grew up in New York, and
I
Did
know,
he graduate from the Knicks?
Good point.
Does he have
Good
his
point.
Knicks
Are you-
degree?
You pieces of livings. Let's see. Joe Burrow.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
I like that one.
He
I
was
don't think
almost
that
a
would ever
Bearcat.
happen.
Yeah.
Almost.
He was very close. All right, I'm gonna go with. Let's see here. Emilio Estevez, because doesn't he live in Cincinnati?
That's
The
range
Mighty
we're
Ducks
doing.
guy.
I mean,
No!
like that would be pretty nice. Like seeing him courtside, they're like Emilio's here again, and they pan to him. It's gonna be fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
Charlie
There we
Sheen's
go.
brother's here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like talk about
Tiger
celebrity.
blood.
And then now it's a snake part of the draft. So me again. My next pick would be just Kenyon Martin. I just think Kmart gets the crowd really popping whenever he's courtside. So if he was like one of those that came to every game and he was as into the game as he was, not this year's crosstown shootout, not the year before, but the year before that crosstown shootout, the David DeJulius banking three when Kmart's out there on the court with his drink in hand, getting the crowd pumped. I want him on that level for every game. And I think the camera's going to catch some awesome moments. So Emilio Estevez and Kenyon Martin. There we go. Ryan, back down to you. Snake, quick.
Christopher Nolan.
Okay. Yeah.
we are off the rails.
he graduated from
He
Cincinnati.
answered
Good pick.
so quickly.
Good pick. Keegan, who you got?
All right. I'm between a few here. Do they have to be alive?
To go to a game, that typically is
Okay.
pretty high on the list.
We could make a hologram and like have them be a hologram, but no, I think they should probably be.
I'm gonna go with Jordan Thompson.
Okay.
Sauce and Jordan Thompson for my two.
And Ice Spice. Good picks.
All right. No, I'm not affiliated.
I got I Show Speed.
Oh, nice.
Is he from Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He's from
I think
Cincinnati.
he is.
Yeah.
Wait, Chad, you should say Tom Segura as your final.
I was waiting for Chad to say Tom Segura, actually.
Yeah, Chad, who you got?
Travis Kelce. Just give me the brothers. I like you guys. Let this fucking
Wow, yeah, we dropped the ball
Right.
there.
Keegan, were you going to go Jerry Springer's corpse?
No, I was gonna say Sandy Koufax.
and Jerry Springer.
I got first and last, and I got Jason and Travis.
You're welcome.
Aaron, that's your fault.
I took
That's
I
your
Show
fault.
Speed.
But
It's
you
fine.
didn't get Emilio Estevez. That's where you really bumped it.
Do you know how
I mean,
much that would
Charlie
build the
Sheen
brand?
Is a huge Reds fan. There, you could at least go on with Charlie.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, good point. Well,
All right.
whatever. That was fun, guys. That was our first snake draft in BBP history. So let's keep that rolling. Let's go ahead and timestamp this, and we'll hop in the mailbag. Happy Memorial Day, everyone.
This timestamp brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They have to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins, They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases. And one last time, the mailbag is brought to you by our good friends at Tostalo. It's the THC soda made with real fruit, all natural ingredients, and all naturally derived Delta-9 THC. Enjoy the smooth, nostalgic flavors of red cream, grape, and orange soda, along with lemonade and other seasonal varieties. Tostalo can be found online at retailers in over a dozen states and over 300 retailers across Ohio where other adult beverages are sold. Can't wait? Use code BCJ for 20% off your next online order and have these tasty sodas shipped directly to your door. Sip, relax, coast away. Costalo.com, code BCJ20 for 20% off your next online order. Please drink responsibly. Must be 21 to purchase. I'm not gonna lie, I had a little lemonade on little lemonade action on Saturday.
Ooh.
Fire pit, little lemonade action. It was
Yes,
it was delightful. It's delightful.
Keegan, drink
I got
your
a couple
Costalo.
of them.
Take a
Yeah, I've
sip,
got a
take
couple
sip.
for Keegan.
Good. Cannot wait.
Snake draft. Let's keep that going. All right, mailbag. Oh man. All right. So we'll start off in the football portion of the mailbag here. And parity seems to be at an all-time high in the Big 12 in today's climate of college football. Do you view that as a positive or negative? What can the conference do to change the parity?
I think it's a massive positive.
Yeah.
I think it's a massive negative.
Oh, take off. Explain.
I think you need dominant teams. I think you need a team that's going to go 12-1 and win a conference championship. And the way that this league is structured right now, as close as I don't see a lot of 12-1. I don't see 13-0 really being possible in this league. I think it damages your ability to put those gaudy final statistics up. I think everybody recruits at about the same level. If you look across the board in the conference, nobody is really running away from the pack to create a situation where one team is clearly every year playing on a different playing field. And I think in the CFP era, especially now that we're going to real seeding, you have a very low chance of a team getting a bye. You're going to have to grind through, all 4 rounds. I don't think it's a good thing that there's no established dominant program, and it doesn't look like anybody really has the juice right now to separate from the pack. I don't know that it's great.
Feels like you guys are talking about two different things, though. It feels like Keegan was talking about how it feels like you have a chance every year. And it seemed like
in today's climate of college football, is it a positive or a negative? In today's climate, I think it's a negative.
Well, if you weren't the team that was dominant, who gives a shit? I mean, I wouldn't want to be like, I don't think it's good for the conference if you got one team that's 12-1 and you're just hanging out there in the middle of the pack while that one team has all the success in case might be the
look, Aaron. The SEC is really struggling after 20 years of Alabama dominance. They're having a tough go of it.
They've put themselves in the driver's seat and sat on everybody else who got in their way. Like,
why is that? Why do you think that is? Because they dominated the sport for 20 years because one team was King Charles, the fucking
I thought it was money. I thought it was money that was the reason they did it.
That was because Alabama had Nick Saban and money.
To get Nick Saban.
Here's my thing. How many times can a team go 11-1 in the conference? How many years in a row can they go 11-1 in the conference before they're poached by the Big Ten or SEC?
I mean, those two leagues we're not in the expansion era anymore. Those two leagues are already busting at the seams.
Yeah, I think college sports has done very well of ripping out the seams and then sewing them back into place to fit whatever they want to do.
Keegan, the SEC didn't take Texas because they were winning the Big 12 regularly. They stunk the entire decade before the SEC took them. They took Texas because they have all the money.
Yeah.
They didn't have to go 11-1.
I mean,
if Iowa State goes 11-1 the next 8 years in a row, you think the SEC and Big Ten are going to take Iowa State? Hell no.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out how to
leave.
They're talking about being Northern Iowa.
They're still trying to figure out how to get rid of Minnesota, Rutgers, and Vanderbilt.
Right?
Ryan, I'm interested in your thoughts on this question. Just because obviously Cincinnati was that elite team in the AAC for those 3-4 years. I don't know. I think I do see both sides. But I think you would need more of the Big Ten approach where you have multiple teams that are high level, and then the rest suck to kind of fit Chad's mentality. But then also Keegan's, it's like, okay, yeah, you can literally win any year. Anyone can win, and it's wide open. That could help your team.
No,
so,
yeah, that's exactly
where. It.
Yeah, I agree because we need some dominance, some clear-cut dominance in our conference to be able to represent us at the bigger stage, and not have a 9-3 conference champion go get shellacked by an SEC team that's the third SEC team in the pool or something like that. But no, I think it's good that parity is good because it means that everyone has a chance, and just kind of who takes advantage of those chances and kind of steps up. But when you're stepping up, you need to step up all the way because having a conference where everyone's 7-5, the best teams 9-3, I don't that just doesn't look good for the conference as a whole, even though that means everyone's competitive. But kind of having that good parity between a 12-1, then a 9-3 and 8-4, a couple 7-5s, and have the bottom feeders kind of fill out the bottom end of it. I think that's kind of the recipe for representing yourselves well by also having good competition.
You're going to be judged by how teams do in the playoff. If you can't get any higher than a 10 seed in the playoff because your conference champion is 9-3, 10-3 with a conference championship game, if they stick with that route, the path to actually being champion is going to be much harder for the Big 12 than if somebody jumps up, be it in Texas Tech with all their money or Baylor or BYU or whatever the case, Cincinnati, whatever the case may be, somebody, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one team the entire time, but I think you do need teams to go on these 2-3 year runs. And I fear that in the transfer portal era, that's going to be really difficult to do. And that's going to damage the overall perception of the Big 12.
All right. If the ACC implodes in a few years, how many teams do you see the Big 12 adding? What teams do you think end up in the Big 12 after the Big 10 and SEC schools take the schools they want? After the Big 10 and SEC take the schools they want. There we go.
2.
Clemson, Florida State, SMU.
To the Big
Pitt?
12?
Yeah.
Do you think Pitt would be Big 10?
I don't think Pitt would be Big 10. I don't think those schools, I don't know. Clemson and Florida State are fascinating because it's probable that the SEC doesn't want them because they already have those markets. The question would be, would the Big 10 want to get into the South? and take Clemson and Florida State just to like kind of plant a flag. But they don't necessarily fit the academic profile that the Big Ten is looking for. But I academic profile is out the fucking window. Nobody cares about that anymore.
No.
Like it's all about who can make more money. If they think they can make more money by adding Florida State and Clemson in order to keep pace with the SEC, then the Big Ten will add Florida State and Clemson. Realistically, from a selfish standpoint, Pitt and Louisville really are all that I'd want to see from the ACC come into the Big 12, just to give Cincinnati and West Virginia and maybe Virginia Tech, I guess. Let's run back. Thrifty says Virginia Tech, Louisville, Pitt, and Miami. Let's run back Big East football in the Big 12.
Another Florida school would make sense for UCF.
Sure.
Just to give them a close ride. They're not close to anybody.
Yeah. I mean, they're not far from, they're far enough, but Louisville, Cincinnati, Pitt, that would at least West Virginia, that would give them an Eastern block.
Yeah.
That they would feel good about. I don't think they would want another Florida school. I think they want to be kind of the outlier in the Big 12 that's in Florida.
I'd like another Florida school for recruiting purposes, if nothing else.
You'd like it for traveling purposes.
Also that.
Yeah.
Same.
So would they.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. That is the football portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the basketball portion of the mailbag. And positional versatility seems like a theme with this new team. My questions are, is there a realistic chance Baba Miller can play some of the 3 and Sean Abayev plays some of the 2? Maybe West plays around with it against a Pine Bluff type team before the schedule picks up. Thanks, guys.
Go ahead. You guys know where I'm going with this. It's my stance always on this topic. So have at it. I'll chime in last as to not be repetitive.
Go
ahead, Brent.
I mean, I don't know. I just think Baba Miller is going to like some of the 3. So I think Abayev could play some of that like 2, like just a wing type thing. But I don't think with Celestine and with Abayev available, and then of course you've got Buck, who can obviously play some of the 3 as well and defend out there if needed. I don't think. Maybe we'll see some Baba at the 3. I don't think though. I think that kind of they need those minutes allotted more to the post with Chom and then Big Slime kind of at the 5, and then he's kind of the only de facto 4 that has experience and playing time. So I don't think that we'll see Baba at the 3. But I do think Abayev is pretty interchangeable at both spots because you can just shoot the crap out of it. So that's my thoughts on it.
Mine would be pretty much the same. I think Abayev could very easily fit really well at the 2 to the point where him playing there isn't like a shock or that much of a rarity. I think a lot of the guys have that versatility, so West can get really creative. And the fact that Baba can play the 3 doesn't mean that he should spend a good amount of time there just because he can. So I think it's where is he going to impact winning the most, and I think that would be at the 4. But I mean, Abayev isn't that long, so I don't think he would be out of sorts at the 2. I think he could interchange between the 2 and the 3 rather easily.
Yeah, I'm with Thrifty Walrus here. If we're seeing Baba at the 3, something's seriously gone wrong, be it injuries or players not performing. I'd be a little nervous if you're seeing a 6'11" dude at the 3. I don't know.
Basketball is a sport where players typically perform better playing down a position than up a position. How did Simas Lukosius, who was a 4, look playing the 3? Not nearly as good as he looked playing the 4. How did Dan Skillings, who was a 3, look playing the 2? Not as good as he was playing the 3. Looked uncomfortable, looked out of position. I just don't like. I think you're generally, as a general rule, you are taking away a player's advantage if you're playing them up a position as opposed to playing their natural position or playing down a position where they can become a mismatch. I don't know. Maybe Sean Abayev is a mismatch offensively against smaller guards. But I also know on defense, I do not want to see Sean Abayev out there chasing around 6'3" scoring guards.
Right.
So I don't love that. Baba Miller, I see him as more of a mismatch at the 4. I don't see the mismatch. I guess height, but again, I don't think that unless unless his ball skills are considerably better than he's shown at his first 2 stops, I don't want another 3 that doesn't have great ball skills. Like that's gotten this team in trouble for a while now, not having a natural 3 that can really handle it and put pressure on a defense from the wing. I don't think Baba is that guy, at least not that we've seen from him to this point. So I just don't love moving guys up a spot. I don't think it is something that teams have much success with. I think the game changed when teams started moving 3s to the 4, moving down a spot. Where is the game changed where guys are moving up a spot? Like I don't see that over the history of basketball. Magic, I guess. Magic Johnson, because he was 6'9" and probably should have been a 3, but he played point guard. Penny Hardaway, maybe. Like there are some super outlier places that works, but you know, I've been watching basketball a long time. There's not a whole lot of guys that jump to my memory right away that were playing up a position from their natural position and were wildly successful. So I'd rather put the guy at his natural spot or move him down a spot where he creates an advantage than move him up a spot where that advantage maybe is taking away from their natural ability.
Agreed.
All right. Can we expect at least one P4 home and home announcement in the next few weeks? I'm starting to get concerned that Wes is going to continue what he's done his entire tenure here and play an awful non-conference schedule, even with the Big 12 going to 18 conference games.
I don't know.
All right.
Not a lot of talk about that out there right now. I've asked around a little bit. There's not a lot getting out on where the schedule is headed at the moment. So I do not have an answer for that question, and I'm not going to speculate, because if I speculate, people run with it and say, "Oh, Chad was dropping hints." I'm not dropping any hints. I genuinely, at this point in time, do not know. So maybe I'll learn more as the summer goes on.
Moving on. Is there a player who stands out to you as most likely to benefit from this summer's work in the Monster Factory? That's a good question.
There's an easy answer here.
Sean.
You guys have that one.
I think it's Abayev.
Big Slime's the answer, but
That's the easy answer, yeah.
I think I kind of like what Roy is saying with Chom, because he's just so young still, and like he's filling into his frame. Like, get him in the Monster Factory and focus on certain things that he wants to get, strength develop more. Because obviously we see in the Big 12 it's a lot of banging in the post. So definitely need to get Chom. Just don't lose the athleticism that he has and that freaky side of him, but just continue to get strength added would be important for him.
Girth.
Yes. Pause.
There's an alley-oop there for you, Brent.
Thank you. Flushed. Right. Right in the hole. There we go.
I'm gonna say Tyler McKinley. Strengthen up that knee, young fella. Get right.
I think Abayev so he can get to the hoop a little bit easier.
Abaya's not a bad answer. I mean, Big Slime is the clear,
Low
obvious,
hanging fruit.
low hanging fruit. Maybe he'll be incorporating a little bit more of that into his diet as he moves to town. So that's the easy one. How about Buck Harris getting a little bit stronger, getting a little bit more physical if you are going to play, a 3-guard look to get some of the more of these guards on the floor. And you take a guy that's already an elite defender and make him even a little bit stronger, a little bit more physical in the way he can handle guys. So under the radar guy, but I'll go Buck Harris.
So ends the basketball portion of the mailbag.
There's
Moving
actually a question in the banks that is a basketball question.
I guess.
That's a basketball question.
Yeah, that's definitely a basketball question. You're right. Look, I just copy and paste and then read as I get there. Man, now I have to pull up the other board. All right. Could you see a scenario where Baba gets used at the top of a 1-3-1 or other zone with Chum on the back end? I don't know if we have the length at guard to play extended minutes in zone, but I would think his length and mobility gives West something to be creative with defensive schemes.
Sure. I do think your concern would be then you would have, generally, if you're playing a zone in a high major conference, you better have some length on the wings to close out and challenge. And if you've got Chisel, Day, or Kerr on the floor together, you're not going to have a lot of size and length to challenge 3-point shooters on kickouts against the zone. So, yeah, I do think, Miller could make it challenging to initiate your offense at the top of a 1-3-1, especially with Chom waiting in the back. But I just don't love having 6-foot guards closing out on the wings of a zone against 3-point shooters.
And I mean, I also like that, Buck Harris and Day Thomas are known for being that lead defender that the front, that gets the primary ball handler. So if you do that, Baba at the top of a 1-3-1, you kind of eliminate that scenario. So maybe in certain scenarios, but I kind of like the hard man-to-man defense that we've had success with in the past.
All right. So ends the basketball portion of the mailbag.
Hey.
Moving on to the baseball portion of the mailbag.
Oh, baby.
What are the 2 to 3 keys of the game for the Cats to win Game 1?
Steal bags, whether it be bunting or stealing. And how should I put this? Make them earn their hits. Don't just our pitching. We all know our pitching struggles at times, especially later into the game. So bullpen, eliminate walks, eliminate bad pitches that just give the hitter excellent opportunities to just take the ball deep, because they're going to be looking to get to pounce on the bullpen. So bullpen's got to tune up, steal our bags. So in case they falter a little bit, we might have some runs to spare if we're lucky enough.
I think the main key is you need a Nate Taylor gem. You need a great pitching outing by Nate Taylor. If he's your true number one, which he is, considered one of the better pitchers in the Big 12, then he's got to have pretty lights out performance. And if that's 7 innings, 2 earned, a handful of strikeouts, I'll take it. But if it's like 4 innings, he struggles, gets yanked, then it's going to be hard to win that first game.
I think you need 75%, at least 75% of Landon Vitterick out there, because I think that he's one of the heartbeats on this team. I think that you could make that argument for a handful of guys, but offensively, he is a dude for this team, and not having his bat in the lineup. I'm not saying that nobody else could step up in that spot, but that's a huge loss if you don't have him available.
All of what Royer said and what Brent said. Throw strikes.
Thanks.
Throw strikes, steal bases, and have a pitcher go 7 or 8 innings, I think would go a very long way.
Anything to add, Chad?
Less than 2 home runs. You got to keep the ball in the yard against Wake Forest. If you can keep the ball in the yard against Wake Forest, you're taking away a very critical part of their offense's success. And I think that's the key to Nate Taylor, getting into the 7th inning, giving Cincinnati a chance to win.
All right. Landon Vitterick missed the entire Big 12 tourney. Will he be available Friday? We talked about that earlier. It's still a coin flip. We'll see. Will BCJ have boots on the ground in Knoxville? Jeff actually answered that he would not be available. Tim couldn't get a ticket for his wife. Jeff had personal stuff going on. Maybe Keegan can go. Keegan already said on this podcast he cannot go, or just will not go.
That's that we're not putting that on Keegan. That's on me. There was not budgeted money for a trip to Knoxville, so that's on me.
I just thought maybe he had to do some laundry. They didn't have enough Chipotles down there. Who knows?
It's a college town. There's a Chipotle. Trust me.
For sure.
That's the end of the baseball portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the banks here. All money being equal, what TV game show would you like to be a contestant on?
Oh.
This is the one for me. There's one game show as a kid I loved to no end.
Pyramid.
Press your luck. Big bucks, no fucking whammies. Stop.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Stop.
Big bucks, no whammies. Stop.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Question. Are we automatically
Here
gonna
we
win
go.
the money?
It's just any game show you went on, the money that you could win would be the same. So Jeopardy, you're not playing for $20,000. You're playing for the same that you would be on for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, so you aren't guaranteed to win? Because I was gonna say The Voice and just win and be a really good singer.
Make $1 billion in a singing career.
Yeah. just dominate it. Be a really good singer.
Would a show like Big Brother be called a game show?
Yeah, it's a game show.
Big Brother.
That would be
that
probably
one.
number 2. I'd love to
The
do that one. That
Bachelor.
would be
The
fun.
Bachelor. I would do The Bachelor. Absolutely.
It's a great one, bro.
Win the ultimate prize there and money. Oh my gosh, The Bachelor, hands down, for sure.
I can only imagine what America's reaction would be to you.
Oh, they love me.
And what you'd say accidentally on camera because you're being
gosh.
filmed all the time.
Yeah, I would be a little scared about that if I'm being honest.
Something you just didn't even mean to sound completely out of pocket about.
Right, exactly. Yep. Trip Keeper knows he's not in the chat today, so it's good.
He knows.
Royer,
There are receipts somewhere out there.
what you picking? What?
I don't know. I'm not big on the game shows. I don't have a lot of experience.
Fear Factor.
Ooh,
Royer would be a Fear Factor guy. Would you eat bull testicles?
No, I wouldn't.
Royer would be MTV The Challenge for sure, hands down, bar none.
What's that?
He would be
Oh,
the
yeah.
next Johnny Bananas.
What are you even saying? I don't even know what that is.
Road rules.
It's they go off to some resort location and do
Yeah.
physical challenges, and
Like
then there's after
CT.
hours, and they get hammered and party, and then they do it all over again week after week.
Yes, that sounds fun.
Yes.
Good pick. Good picks.
Pros versus Joes.
Yeah.
Brent, do you know whose birthday it is today?
Regis Philbin.
Brady Collins. Happy birthday, Brady. I miss
What?
you.
Whose birthday?
BC,
Royer got
baby.
Who?
Former.
It's Brady
Part of this
Collins'
show.
birthday.
It is Brady
Yeah.
Collins' birthday today.
Is he coming on the? Is he joining us on the pod
No.
on the 6th screen, live from Madison?
Maybe. Not right now, but he said he'd be here in 1 minute.
No way.
Get out of here.
That's what he said. I sent him a link and I said, let's go right now. I just need you for a minute. You need to come on, say hello, and let the boys tell you happy birthday.
Ryan,
And
you
he
should tell him
said-
happy birthday in your Brady Collins impression.
My voice is all fucked up right now.
Ryan, you weren't on this show like when we had Brady, were you? Like you didn't
No.
join until they were
He
gone.
was on the
so,
team.
Well, yeah,
He-
we
he was-
have 1 year.
Busy
where
doing
he
important
could've-
stuff.
He could have come back, but he didn't. And started his real life job, which I guess got him to his second contract, got him a promotion.
Right.
But he said he was going to stop in and say hello. So now we have to filibuster until we see that screen pop up. I should have just let it be a surprise.
You should have
Brent
just made
would've
Brent
lost.
keep asking. You should have just made Brent keep guessing. We'd be 78 guesses in by now.
Brent would have never got it, but Royer knew. Royer got it right away.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. Did you text him, Roy?
I did.
Wow.
How'd that go?
He just responded.
Tell him to get his ass on the show.
I will.
Say, I'm waiting to talk to you on the internet right now.
Oh my gosh.
Keegan, is this uncomfortable for you?
Oh,
No?
Like
you
on-
didn't know. You didn't know BC.
I followed close enough that I know his aura.
Oh,
We
we gotta ask.
you
We gotta
didn't-
ask BC about jumping in the lake.
You didn't watch every single BBP growing up?
Can't say I did.
Growing up.
Oh man. That's rough.
Brady said he will. Let's see.
I'm just waiting to hear that beep right now.
I mean, what's going on?
Well, while we're waiting, Brent, what did you do for Memorial Day today?
So, man, I tell you what, the Indy 500 is something. If you've never been, I highly suggest you go. But that next day is, it's licking wounds. It's figuring out what's going on. I played basketball last night at midnight and like severely hurt my leg. So like a lot of just like, what's going on? So,
What did you do?
Why were you playing
Today-
basketball drunk out of your mind at midnight after the Indy 500?
There was a basketball hoop and the boys were saying, let's do it. And I said, let's do it. And pick and roll led to me tripping over some, outdoor furniture and just falling pretty far down. Oh,
Oh,
my
Look at this crew.
It's a full house.
Happy
Woo.
birthday
to
to you.
happy birthday
Birthday
to you.
Happy birthday,
Happy birthday, dear
dear
Brady. Happy birthday to you.
Look at all the boys. Dude, you got them all in there.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
What's up?
Did you know? Like we added Ryan to the crew?
Oh yeah, I've known Royer's been in the crew for a while now.
Okay.
I think
Every Monday night.
I think he did one. I think I think one of our last ones I did with you. I think he was, but yeah,
can't remember.
Royer had the pleasure of coming up to visit and get a
Oh,
little fun workout in, didn't you, Royer? Like the old days.
Oh my God. I thought I was gonna die. My heart rate wouldn't go down. I had to sit in Danny Felino's office
Yeah, you
and I
did.
was like, what the hell happened to me? I was like, it's not funny. They're all making fun of me. I'm like, I'm dead serious. I can't slow down my heart.
That's
Like,
right,
what the-
because you did the staff lift with us, right?
Yeah. And then me
Yeah.
and Bryce competed against each other and I lost control of myself. So
That's funny. That is
yeah,
fun.
it was a humbling experience.
I'm looking like you, Roy. I got to get a haircut, dude.
Keep growing it out.
Hair
No,
looks good. Facial hair
Flow.
looks great. DC, man, I tell you what.
You look like Fred Durst. You need my red hat.
yeah, everybody's always said that when I wear my red hat backwards, and I look like Fred Durst.
Yeah.
Time to break
How's
stuff.
life? You good? What'd you do for your birthday?
Well, we trained the boys earlier today, and then took the kids to the pool, and went to a Mexican restaurant. Just hung out, had cake back here, and it's been a nice, relaxing day with the fam.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Well deserved. Get some queso.
queso, no queso, no queso. Some good guac, some tacos, some corn fritters. Those are good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah,
Did Fickle give you a gift?
he did. He
Did
gave
he
me
give
a
you a
big
nice?
hug. He
I
gave
was
me a
about
big
to
hug.
say,
Yeah,
nice
Wow.
big hug.
The
That's
hell of
it,
a
right?
gift.
the type of
Bearcat
hug that
Mick
you
wants
like.
to know. Bearcat Mick wants to know if you miss higher ground.
Oh hell yeah, high ground's the best.
With Chuck.
There's nothing like that place, man. Nothing like that place.
You've tried to recreate it up there, but it's just not the same.
Chuck and Brenda, man, you can't recreate that. That's for sure. I mean,
They're gone. So I mean,
they sold it.
they're out. They left. They
Wow.
turned it over. So last year was the first year without them, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same
man.
without Chuck and Brenda.
Oh man.
That
Well,
and they
hopefully
added a nutritionist, so they like healthed up the food.
can't do that. You gotta have
No.
to
The guys
with every meal.
the guys were getting milkshakes at 7 a.m. before practice.
You love
Hey.
those Oreo milkshakes, Royer.
Oh, I loved them so much, and I was like, wait a second, I don't really do much at practice. I can't really be eating all these calories. Started to blow up like a balloon.
It'll still go down as the greatest event ever held at Higher Ground, the 2022 WWE wrestling match.
Oh my God, yeah, that was hilarious.
Royer as the MC.
That was unreal.
There were some choice words being used there. Well, I got to remember that. Yeah, exactly.
I saw it was your birthday. I just thought you needed to come on and have us tell you happy birthday and that we miss you. Nico's doing a great job. He comes on the show. He's a regular. We love him. But from the bottom of our heart, we miss you, BC. We love you. Happy birthday.
Appreciate
Love
you
you,
guys.
Coach.
You guys are still kicking ass and doing awesome. Hope everybody's families are doing awesome. And like I told you, Chad, I'll be back in that facility July 19th speaking at the clinic there. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really cool. We'll have, Coach Mickey Marotti speaking. I'm speaking and Coach Nico. So it's going to be, a bunch of former Bearcats and current. And I think it's going to be really cool.
Is
awesome.
Mitch
I'll have to
doing the
stop by.
keynote speak for his dad?
Mitch is the keynote speaker. Yeah.
He's introducing his.
It's a meathead
So you might have to give him,
convention.
you might have to give him some MC announcing.
Yeah. I wonder how that would go.
Maybe leave off some of the
Yeah,
ad-lib
yeah.
stuff that you do.
Yeah. It's probably smart. Happy birthday, Coach. I miss you, man.
Appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you. Good to see everybody, man.
Good to see you, brother. Happy birthday. Tell the family
Happy
we said
birthday,
hello.
Brady.
Oh, well, appreciate you,
Happy
man.
birthday.
Love you, brother. See ya.
Love you guys. See you, man.
Love it. See you, bro.
There you go, Brent. That was your surprise.
I was like
That
kind of
was
speechless, to
surprising.
be honest. I just was just sitting there like, golly. But hey,
Actually,
so
it was
2 hours.
July 19th,
Luke.
is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
July
I mean,
19th.
that'll be an awesome little thing. Nico and Brady in the same building. I might have to book my flight now. Yes.
All right. Get us out of here.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what happened today? The Bearcat
Did a podcast.
baseball team made the NCAA tournament. We had a snake draft. Emilio Estevez is my friend. And we had a blast here on the BBP Memorial Day edition. So, big shouts to Costalo. Big shouts to Quick Paper Supply. Big shouts to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. And big shouts to my brothers, my Monday night crew. So for all of them tonight, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, and for Keegan Nicholson, I'm Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.